Hello, welcome in. If you are questioning signs or have trouble trusting signs, then this weekly spirit boost is for you. I am Tammy Mashaberti, best-selling author of the book The Universe is Talking to You. Tap into signs and synchronicity to reveal magical moments every day. And I know that so many people struggle when they get a sign, they notice the sign, and then they're like, was that actually a sign? Should I be paying attention to this? Or have I lost my mind? Am I going crazy? Right? These are some of the things that I tend to hear from people. So I wanted to come on here today and talk a little bit about it. I have an entire chapter in the book, The Universe is Talking to You, on this. And so I wanted to talk about it because the first hurdle with receiving signs is noticing those signs, right? And recognizing and opening yourself up to it. The second hurdle that people come up with is, can I trust this? Is this a sign? What I tell people is, if you think a loved one around you is communicating with you and you have gotten a sign and it made you think of that loved one, or it's a sign you assign to that loved one, you accept it, right? You accept it, because the more that you accept it, the more that loved one is going to go, oh, she got that. I can use that again. Okay. If it's a sign and you are like, oh, I don't know, is that a sign for me to do this or that? Or is that a sign that the universe is trying to get me to pay attention to something? And you're really not sure. You really are sort of like, I don't know. Like, I still am not comfortable making that decision, or I'm still am not comfortable that that's actually my sign, or that's a sign for me. All you have to do is use a technique from improvisational comedy called the yes and technique. What you're going to do is you're going to say, yes, I accept that sign. I accept it. I see it. I think this is what the universe is telling me. The and part of that is, and can you send one more? Can you do something else that will make me really know that that is what I'm supposed to do? Can you repeat it? And here's the thing, when the universe is trying to get your attention with signs, it will repeat it over and over and over again until you get it. The name of a book, the name of a doctor, a type of thing like yoga or meditation, juicing, whatever it might be. If the universe is trying to get your attention, it will continue to throw it in your face, throw it in your face, throw it in your face. But sometimes when we're trying to figure something out and we get a sign and we're not sure, we think like, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's really it. I don't know if I should trust that. I don't know, stuff like that. That's when you want to go, okay, I'm going to take it. It was a sign. I want to make sure. Please send me another one. The other piece of this is, the more that you get used to this back and forth flow between you and the universe, the more that you are dialed into that divine higher helpline, the more that you accept the signs and allow the signs in, the more you will begin to trust them. The more you will begin to follow them, the more you will realize, this is how the universe communicates with me, or this is the signs that my loved one uses. Again, in the book, The Universe is Talking to You, I tell you to keep a journal. I tell you to keep a journal because a lot of the time we don't realize the repetition. We don't realize the synchronicities. We don't realize the connections. But if we write them down every day and we go back and we flip through, oh my gosh, all of a sudden you see all of these connections. You see all of these things that maybe you didn't see before. So that's another way that will help you to start trusting in that communication. Now, there are times, and I have to just say, when I first started this whole, getting signs from my mother on the other side, and really starting to follow the communications and trusting the signs that come through, I'm not a psychic, not a medium, not a intuitive, whatever label you want to call it, had never had any intuitive training, had never taken a class years ago. Okay. So you can do this without that. Now, over the years, right? My mother's been gone over 20 years now, almost 20, it'll be 23. Since then, I have developed and opened up my intuition, opened up my ability to sense things, have stepped more into my empathic nature. And so crazier things have happened to me. And sometimes, you guys, the more you open up, the more insane things will happen to you, and you will question your sanity, right? You will think, okay, now I've lost it. Like, this is crazy. But it's not crazy, right? So that's why you have to start trusting the little things in the beginning, because as you continue to open up, crazy, amazing things will occur. I'm going to give you some examples. Don't worry, I always give you examples. So the first thing that happened to me that I really had thought that I lost my mind, and this was probably, 10 years ago, maybe more than 10 years ago, is I remember I was trying to figure something out. We always have things in our life that we're trying to figure out or solve, or problems that we're trying to solve. And so there was something going on in my life, and I remember I had my cell phone and I was texting someone on the cell phone. And as I was texting, the word Marianne came into my head, and I actually typed it, and it had nothing to do with the sentence I was typing. Now, my mother's name is Marianne. And so I stopped and I thought, oh my God, it was like something infiltrated my brain. And I said, what in the world was that? Right? But because I am so open, because I've gotten used to all of the crazy things that the universe does to get my attention, right? Because I've been accepting of it and it had become a part of my life. By the time this happened to me, I was like, okay, that was weird. She must be here, right? She must be here. So I stopped what I was doing. I went to my computer. I closed my eyes and I said, Mom, if you're here, well, obviously you needed to get my attention. What is going on? And I proceeded to just type the things that were coming to me, the things that were coming in my head. I didn't question it. I didn't worry about it. I just typed it frantically all out. I then looked at it and thought, you cannot tell anybody this happened to you. Because if you tell anybody this happened to you, they're going to lock you up. This is insane. Where did this come from? I'm not a medium. I don't understand how this just happened to me, right? And so I didn't tell anybody. And what I did was, remember, I said to you, if something happens to you or you get a sign and you're like, this is weird, I need you to prove to me that this was a sign. I need you to do something else. I said to my mother, listen, I appreciate you hanging out and coming around, but I'm not telling anybody that this happened to me unless you somehow prove to me that this is you. I don't know how you're going to do it. I have no idea how you're going to prove to me that this is you, but I am keeping my mouth shut unless you find a way. And then I let it go and I walked away, and it was great. Listen, it was great information that I got from it, right? But I still thought, I'm not telling anybody. And so I'm going to say 2 hours later, around a couple of hours, I'm working on my computer. My phone rings. It's a friend at the time who happened to be a medium. And she said to me, Tammy, your mother is here. And I said, really? She's like, yeah, I don't know. She popped up. Listen, I got to tell you. And blah, 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 blah. She starts telling me a whole bunch of stuff. Half of what she was telling me, in some cases, word for word, were things that I had typed out. And I thought, oh my God, Mom, I asked you to find a way to let me know that I wasn't crazy. And man, she was on it. It only took her a couple hours to get this poor woman's attention to call me to repeat things that I had written. Okay. So I tell you that story because as you continue to open up to this, don't be surprised if wacky things happen to you. And also, as you continue to trust and know that these things, that okay, I'm going to trust these signs. I'm just going to ask for another one if I'm not sure. I'm just going to trust that I'm getting them. I'm just going to be open. Yes, universe, I'm open. And you continue to keep yourself open and you ask, the universe will deliver. My mother delivered. She was like, Tammy, here you go. Here's, you want proof? I'm going to give you proof. And so the same thing with you guys. If you ask for another sign, the universe will deliver. It's okay to question it. Because especially in the beginning, or when something big happens like that, you're going to think, I'm not sure. I don't know. This is new to me, right? That was very new to me when my mother popped in. It's okay to ask for the confirmation. It's okay to say, if this was really you, or if this is really what I'm supposed to be doing, like, I just need another sign. And I've done this many, many times in my life. Many, many, many times in my life. Even with signs, I'll ask for, like, one time I assigned a sign to a guide. And then I went to my desk and I saw the sign and I thought, well, that was way too fast. No, I'm not taking that. Meanwhile, it was literally like I had a desk calendar, right? And I think this sign that I had assigned was a red rose. And I flipped to the new day desk calendar and it was a red rose. And I thought, well, that's a coincidence. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take that. And so I said, you got to do it again, because that was too, I just finished meditating and I don't know. And then I wound up I was looking at something online and it said, stop and smell the red roses. And I was like, all right, I get it. Like, why did I question the desk calendar, right? It's okay to ask for more. The other thing I want to tell you that happened to me recently is that I went, this was yesterday. Oh my gosh, this was yesterday. And so I asked for help when I need it, right? And I teach you guys to ask for help. I create prayers for myself. I call in specific higher helpers when I'm trying to do things, solve things, grow my business, whatever it might be. And so I had this prayer that I had been saying, and then I had stopped saying it for a while because, I kind of felt like things were improving. And then I was like, I should really go back to that prayer. So I went back. I had the prayer printed out. I went back to the prayer. I said the prayer yesterday morning. I called in specific guides, the ones that I don't know all my guides, but the ones that I have met. And you can meet guides too. I've taught classes on it. I teach a class every year on it. So I've met certain guides. And so I call certain guides in to help me, who I know are helping me with specific things. Came to my desk, was struggling with something, again, trying to figure out, solve just a small problem, but enough that it was nagging me. And so I'm sitting at my desk and I'm typing. I don't even know what I was doing. I had my glasses on. Okay. So I had my glasses on that was sort of blocking a little bit of the sides, right? And I'm typing. And as I'm typing, all of a sudden, I saw out of the corner of my eye, almost like a figure, or like something blocking my vision. That's the only way I can explain it, is there was something blocking my peripheral vision as I was typing. And I stopped and I blinked because I was like, something must be in my eye, right? And I blinked and it was gone. And I thought, and I stopped. And I was like, so of course my first thing was like, oh my gosh, is there it better only be good energy, and I called in Archangel Michael because it's scared. I thought, what in the heck was that? Right. And it was sort of like a, not black, but it was like a shot, some kind of it was just like a figure, right? Nothing dark or anything like that. But right away I was like, oh my God. So I picked up my pendulum because I thought, I don't know what that was. And now it's gone. So I picked up my pendulum and I said, was there a spirit here? Yes. Is it of love and light? Yes. Okay. Was it my mother? No. I didn't feel like it was my mother. Was it an angel? No. Was it a guide? Yes. Oh, okay. And then I went through the guides that I know, and I finally got a yes for what guide it was. And then I thought, okay, well, great. I know who it was, but I have no idea why this person just scared the bejesus out of me while I was sitting at my desk, right? This has never happened to me before. So I'm sitting there and I just closed my eyes and I was like, okay, why were you here? What did you want? And I just sort of got quiet and just like steadied my breathing. And I heard, and not heard, but like in my head, I got the thought, go look up X, Y, and Z. And I thought, okay. So I went and I Googled it. You know, I searched what it was. It popped up and it was exactly what I was trying to figure out. I mean, it was exactly what I needed to help me at that moment. And I thought, oh my God, now I've lost it. Right? Like now I've lost it. And honestly, this guide is a guide that, you know, if I told you the name, you would know the name. I'm not going to go into it because I really don't want people to think I'm nuts, but I thought this is crazy. So I texted my husband. I said, I think I've now crossed over into the edge of insanity. And thank God he's used to me. And by the way, shout out to my husband, Ryan. It's his birthday today, October 6th. So I texted him because he was at work. I said, something really strange happened. And he loves it. He's like, oh, what happened? You know what I mean? Like he loves all that stuff. And so I told him what happened. And I said, wait, it gets crazier. You know, like I told him that I saw something about what I said, and then here's who it was. And da 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 da. And he was like, that's all. He's like, I think that's really cool. He's like, what's crazy is that, you know, this is how I can trust that I wasn't losing my mind. Okay. And this is the point. Because the information that I got was exactly what I needed. And it was not in my head. Do you know what I'm saying? So he said, oh my gosh, what's the craziest thing about it is it's exactly what you were looking for. And you had no idea. And I said, I know. But what in the world was that? Right? So I say all this to you because I want you to start trusting no matter how small these signs are. And if you do, and if you question it, it is okay. Do not feel bad about it. I just don't want you to question it and let it go. I want you to question it and ask for more confirmation. Ask for another sign. Okay. As you continue to do this, and maybe you do work, maybe you are someone who's opening your intuition. Maybe you are someone who's taking classes or just meditating more, right? You don't even need to take classes. You just need to meditate and quiet your mind and it'll come in. Okay. And so, because we all have it within us, we all have that ability within us. We're all connected to that higher source no matter what. So as you continue and you open up more and these other crazy things start happening to you, I want you to think back to some of these stories and say, okay, even if I get it, and I'm just going to ask for more confirmation, or I'm just going to ask, you know, I asked my mother, prove to me that it was you, and she found a way. I didn't tell her how to prove it. I said, I don't know how you're going to do it, right? But do it. And then the same thing with, yesterday when I saw that, I thought this is insane. So I got my pendulum and I verified it with another source of communication, right? Because there's so many different ways we can tap into that divine higher helpline. The pendulum is one of them. So I did that, and then I stopped and said, okay, I'm going to go with the fact that you were here. I'm going to trust the fact that I had not lost my mind, that I didn't have a temporary blindness, right? That there was something there. I'm going to just trust it. And then I'm going to ask, what do you want? And the way that they proved it to me was the information I got was the exact information I needed to help me. And so you guys, you can ask for help in trusting. You can ask for more signs. It's gonna take time, but I don't ever want you to get a sign and say, I don't think that was it. Moving on. Never do that. If you notice something, I just want you to ask for more confirmation. I want you to ask for them to do it again. I want you to ask for them to go bigger. I want you to, my friend Karen Noe, if you know her, she's a psychic medium, amazing author, has a great card deck. She calls it ask for a without a doubt sign. Without a doubt. That's what I want you to ask for. And that is how you can eventually start trusting it. Start trusting more and opening yourself up. And the more you trust it, the more they're going to go big on you. Like they have gone big on me over the years. And by the way, these are not everyday occurrences at all, right? But the more that I'm opening up, the more that I'm trusting, the more that the universe, my angels, my guides are like, oh, she's open. We can get in. Oh, she's open. She paid attention to this, so we can do that again. That's sort of how it works. And you start creating this dialogue. You start creating this back and forth, this communication. It is available to everyone. It is not available just to me. It is not available just to people who have trained in their psychic abilities. It is not available to only a few people in the world. It is available to all of us, no matter who you are, no matter where you live, no matter where you were born, no matter what your belief system, no matter what your cultural background. It does not matter. I am proof of that because, like I said, I had no training when these things started happening to me, and I started trusting them. And the way that you start trusting them is you take your little skeptical hat off and you say, listen, actually just tilt it off and say, listen, I'm not 100% sure. Can you do it again? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to accept it. I'm not going to say no. I'm going to accept it. And then we're going to see. Okay. That's what I want you to do. I just want to look at some comments. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything, please feel free to leave them, even if this is on the replay, and I will go back. Let's see. I just want to make sure I didn't. Oh, somebody is saying a word started appearing frequently after a near-death experience I had. It's been appearing for 2 years in a row. I fill it in contents exactly as it means. But here's the thing about that. If you get the sign, if you're like, oh, that was so-and-so, or oh, that was what, it will be used again and again and again and again. That's what they do. They're like, yes, we got through. We tried 75,000 signs and she got one. So we're going to use that one again. Right? Like that's sort of how the universe works. And when I say universe, you guys, I always mean, my angels, my guides, blah, 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 blah. Let me see. Okay, Angela is saying, if the signs are leading to overwhelming opportunities, too much happening all at once, how do I interpret them? Oh, I love that your father sends you lightning bolts to encourage you to take bold action. That is awesome. That is awesome. If you're getting too many signs and you're overwhelmed and you're confused, you have to stop and you have to say, listen, and again, it's a dialogue, right? So you stop and you say, listen, here's what I'm trying to figure out, or I'm getting a lot of stuff. I don't really know. I need you to send me a very clear, without a doubt sign so that I know. Slow it down and make it big and let me know. I am open. I am aware. I am ready to go, but I'm a little confused right now. I need you to be clearer and make it without a doubt. That's what I would say, Angela. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Sam, the electricity had gone out for a few minutes here now and just came back on and you were online. Oh, that's awesome. And that's also a sign, by the way, that there are spirits and the universe is around you while you're watching this. If your electricity is going out. I'll tell you, I taught a class years ago, actually at Karen Noe's center that she had. And I was talking about signs and synchronicity and talking about my mother, and the light flickered and everybody saw it. And it was the coolest thing ever. So I love the signs with the electricity. That's so cool. Jacqueline says, what do you think about songs on the radio for communication? It is one of the ways that my mother has been communicating with me since the very moment she passed. Honestly, and I'll tell you, when she was alive, so she died when I was 22 years old. My grandmother, her mother, died when I was 5. And she used to tell me that there would be songs on the radio that she knew her mother was using for her. One of them I'll never forget was called Holes in the Floor of Heaven. I don't know exactly who sings it. I think I wrote it in my book, but so yes, they will use songs on the radio. They will use anything electric. They will turn appliances on and off. They will turn TVs on and off. They will turn lights on and off. Light bulbs will completely bust and blow out because they're pure energy, right? And so it overloads the light bulb. So yes, there are specific songs that I now know and recognize is my mother communicating with me. So 100%. on that. Okay. Sam, could angel numbers on license plates be signs or messages too? 100%. You guys, they will use numbers everywhere, especially your angels. And when you see those repeating numbers, 100%. If your focus has landed on it and you think, oh, it's a sign. You know what I'm saying? And then just look up what those numbers are if you don't already know what they are. Aura, I just saw a rainbow this morning in the sky. After I asked for a sign days ago, I just found out it was from my mother that she was helping me at that time. That's the other thing I want to say. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that sometimes you'll ask for a sign and you don't get it right away. So there's two things on that. Number one, give them time. Okay. Number two, if you ask for a sign, a lot of the times the sign has come and we miss it. So they will continue sending it until you see it. So if you ask for a sign today and then you see a sign on Sunday, that doesn't mean they weren't sending it beforehand. This world is crazy, right? That's why I teach people how to start paying attention and noticing them. It's so easy to miss them. So if you ask for a sign from the universe, from your angels, from your guides, from your loved ones, and it seems like it's taking time, I always just say, just close your eyes and say, you probably sent it. I probably missed it. Can you do it again? So don't, worry that, it took days or it's not here yet. What is going on? I promise you, it's not that they didn't send it. It's that you just probably missed it. Let's see. Oh, I love this, Nancy. My son's hockey number was 18. I see this number so often everywhere. I know he's telling me he's all right. You guys, they will use things that you relate to them. They will use numbers. They will use birth dates. They will use a jersey number, right? They will use a symbol. I had a friend who Mickey and Minnie Mouse was always a sign for her dad, right? He popped it up everywhere after he passed. So they want you to know it's them. They're going to use something that relates to them. And the fact, again, she got that 18. Oh my gosh, that's my son. Her son was like, Mom, got it. I'm using it again and again and again. This is fantastic. That is sort of how it works. And again, the more that you recognize it and the more that you open up to it and the more that you say yes to it, the easier it's going to get to trust. But we are human, so we're not always going to trust. Sometimes we have to say, I think I'm going crazy. Can you send something again? It's a dialogue. It is a back and forth. So that's what I want you to remember. Thank you so much. Oh, my sister's on here. Hi, Gina. She says, Mommy always communicates with me with her name. Yes, my mother uses her name all the time. They will use their name. If you go somewhere and you hear somebody say their name, just say hi to them. They're around you. 100%. Let me see. Oh, you always see 1111. I'll tell you what 1111 means. It's actually it's a number that if you see 1111, and I actually did a video of this. I think it's on my Instagram. But if you see 1111, it often means your universe is two different things. Number one, your angels are saying to you, pay attention to your thoughts because they're manifesting quickly. Pay attention to what you're thinking. Stop and think right now. What am I focused on? What is my mood like? And it's trying to get your attention to let you know that sort of a portal has opened up and manifestations are happening. So yay, but also be careful what you're creating, right? Sort of that two piece of that. That's what I find 1111 means. Gail saying 9s are in all my numbers. Both my kids were born on the 9th even. Wow. Husband got me new license plate the other day and it says 999. Do you know what 9 means? I don't know it off the top of my head, but I would look it up because that probably has like a message for you just for your life in general. If it's sort of always around you, that's awesome. Okay. So that was my message for you guys today. Oh, I see people on Instagram too. I'm so sorry. I can't even see. Okay, Mrs. Aztec is saying, in the midst of a 30-day trust program, out of the blue, a girlfriend called me today telling me to trust. Now you're on here talking about trust. Guess it's what I needed to hear today. Yes. This is how the universe directs you, right? Not everybody watches me live. You may watch this video 4 months from now, find it on Facebook or Instagram somewhere, and it's a message you needed to hear because the universe directed you to it. That's why I love just putting this stuff out there, because I know that eventually whoever needs to hear it will find it. So I love that, and thank you for sharing that with me. So awesome. Okay. Oh, you're welcome. All right. So thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I love doing my weekly spirit boosts with you. If you're not already subscribed, checked out my YouTube channel. I try to release weekly videos in addition to these weekly spirit boosts. So please check that out as well. If you like this, if someone else needs to hear this, like it, tag them, help me get it out into the world. Thank you all for being here with me. I'm sending love to you all. Have an amazing weekend. Bring trusting in the signs with you. If you haven't asked for a sign lately, ask for it and then trust it. If you question it, you ask for another one. Just don't ever reject them. Sending my love to you all. And I will see you guys soon. I will be back here next Thursday as per usual. Bye, everybody.